The summer of 1975 was different. The air was thick, the sky rarely clear, and over the Henan province, clouds began to swirl like something ancient and angry. By late July, the first typhoons made landfall. Then came Super Typhoon Nina, a storm so massive it slammed into southern China with unrelenting fury. But what terrified scientists the most was what came after. On August 5th, relentless rain began to fall over the Banqiao region. Meteorologists recorded 1,000 millimeters of rain in a single day, a once-in-a-thousand-year event. In the control rooms of the Banqiao Dam, engineers watched their gauges with growing horror. The dam's reservoir, designed to hold 300 million cubic meters, was filling fast. Desperate messages were sent up the chain of command. The dam's safety limit was about to be breached. The sluice gates, meant to release excess water, had jammed with silt and debris, and higher officials in the Communist Party refused to approve emergency water releases without full authorization. No one wanted to cause panic. No one wanted to look weak, and so they waited. By August 7th, the dam's operators knew the truth. The structure wouldn't survive another night of rain. One engineer was heard whispering, "We are standing on a ticking bomb." It was just after midnight. The rain hadn't stopped in 72 hours. Lightning lit the skies above Banqiao like a strobe, each flash revealing something worse. Rivers overflowing, fields vanishing, and the water still rising. Inside the dam's control tower, the engineers had stopped pretending. Some wept, some prayed. Others simply stared at the dials, already past red. Then, at exactly 1 a.m. on August 8th, 1975, a sound tore through the valley. Not a crack, not a groan, a roar. The sound of 700 million tons of water ripping free. The Banqiao Dam had collapsed. What followed wasn't just a flood. It was a wall of water over 6 meters tall, moving at 50 kilometers an hour. Entire villages were erased in minutes. Families still sleeping in their beds were swept away before they could open their eyes. Concrete buildings crumbled like paper. In just 6 hours, over 60 dams downstream also failed. The flood reached over 1,000 towns and villages. There was no warning, no time to run. People weren't drowning. They were vanishing. By sunrise, a deadly silence hovered over the valley. The only sound left was water, lapping at what used to be homes. The floodwaters didn't just erase villages, they erased truth. When the skies cleared and the rains finally stopped, the scale of the devastation emerged. Over 6.8 million homes destroyed, roads gone, crops decimated, millions stranded without food, water, or medicine. The official death toll, just 26,000. But eyewitnesses, rescue workers, and survivors tell another story, one far darker. Many estimate that over 240,000 lives were lost. Most were never counted, never named. Entire families vanished without record. Why the silence? Because the Banqiao Dam wasn't just a structure, it was a symbol of Maoist engineering, a monument to state power. To admit its failure was to admit human error. So the truth was buried. Survivors were silenced. Foreign journalists were barred. The world never heard the full story until decades later. Today, in that same valley, new dams stand tall. Cities have grown again. But for those who remember August 1975, there is one memory that never fades. The sound of water, rushing, roaring, then gone. And the names of the dead, still waiting to be spoken. Long pause, faded. This was the Banqiao Dam disaster. One of the deadliest engineering failures in history, buried in silence. Subscribe to Buried Disasters for more real stories lost to history and help bring the truth back to light. Watch next. The School That Exploded, New London, 1937. Subscribe for weekly forgotten disasters based on true events. Respect to all lives lost.